In this episode, I hit you with a real talk that if you can truly help solve someone's problem, you have a duty and obligation to sell to them and should never feel pushy or sleazy. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution podcast, where we teach overworked massage therapists a new treatment method that cuts session times in half and eliminates the frustrations of inconsistent results so they can avoid burnout and help more people get out of pain. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the show. All right, so let's just get right into it. You know, sales and marketing are the lifeblood of your business. What really inspired this episode is I remember beginning of the year, people started putting up, especially massage therapists on social media, like putting up these posts about how their prices were going up, like anywhere from $5 to $10. And they wrote these like long, heartfelt posts about how, they hadn't raised their rates in years and they hope people will understand, blah, 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 blah. And it made me think, why is there such like a poor attitude and relationship with money? I see this a lot with massage therapists. I had it a lot early on in my career. So one of the issues is just our relationships with money. They say, well, the Bible says the root of the love of money, I can't even talk right. The love of money is the root of all evil. And yeah, it is. But people misconstrue that passage and just say, money is the root of all evil. No, it's the love of money. All money really is just an exchange of energy. People build it up and they do that. So if you're exchanging something with them, especially something that can truly change their lives and help them possibly stay the hell away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries and the traditional medical model, which will just ruin their lives, man, it's a pretty good exchange of energy for that. Next is just the idea of trying to be affordable and trying to help everyone. I see this all the time, like, oh, we want to have affordable care. Like I saw someone's actual business name was like affordable massage therapy. It's like, I get what you're trying to do and you're trying to help everyone, but if you're for everyone, then you're for nobody and it only makes you poor. Next is the idea of price versus value. Price is what someone pays, value is what you get. And unfortunately, in society, people lead with the idea of price. They go, hey, how much is this going to cost? And then you tell them how much it's going to cost. And they have no context about what's the price is and why it is what it is. And they just assume that, hey, maybe you're really expensive. Maybe you're kind of cheap. Maybe someone else can do it for cheaper. At the end of the day, the problem with the cheap solution is it never actually fixes the problem. Next issue, solutions versus services. I see so many people just market their services. Like you go on their website, you sign up and you pick which type of service you want. And it's priced accordingly, usually priced based off everyone else in your area. Maybe you're a little bit cheaper, a little bit more, but you're pretty much the same as everyone else and you get stuck in that commodity trap. I always want people to focus, in what I teach and what I do is focus on solutions, solving problems. And I think chronic pain and injuries is something that is a big need that isn't getting solved by people. So focus more on solutions instead of services. Next is just avoid these people called price demons at all costs. These are the people that are always looking for a discount, and discounts are bad for you. And it's actually bad for the client too, because they won't take it seriously. I'm amazed at how many people lead with this. They're like, hey, do you offer a discount? I'm like, well, what do I offer a discount for? And they'll go, oh, well, I just wanted to see if you offer a discount. I was like, hey, you know what? My landlord doesn't offer me a discount on my rent. So why should I offer you a discount? And it even goes back to the idea of discounts, especially if like your friends and family ask you for discounts, you shouldn't give them discounts because they know how hard you work. They know how dedicated you are. They should pay full price and want to pay full price. Because if you start becoming the discount guy or the discount girl, you're going to get a bunch of lousy clients that hang out with a bunch of cheap other people. And you're going to have that reputation in there. And at the end of the day, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to be poor and you're going to have to find a different job. So avoid that at all costs. So what do I do? First is I just qualify who I work with. I only work with someone if they have a neck, upper back, shoulder, elbow, wrist, low back, or hip issue. Also, they've had to been dealing with the problem for at least 6 months and seen at least 2 other providers. That tells me they're serious about their problem. They want to get better. They're in pain and they're going to value more about what I do. Then I do this thing called information assisted sales. Like we go through, I ask questions about what's going on. I want to be able to make sure that I'm going to be able to help you because I tell the clients, I say, I don't go over my price until I know absolutely that I can help you and that you see my true value. And a lot of times, people get bullied by a client. The client calls in and says, hey, how much is it for a treatment? You're like, oh, it's $120. And they'd be like, okay, I'll book. Or maybe they're like, oh, down the street. But you didn't really even know if you could help. That's when you're stuck in that model providing more services than solutions. Next thing is I want to be the most expensive, but still the best value, because value is what they get, price is what they pay. And for me, the way I try to exceed value is I'm the best at what I do in my area. I know that I'm treating the things that I'm good at. I say no to everything else. I can also do it better and faster than anyone else. So the only thing that beats free and cheap is fast and results. Next thing, people that pay more, they value the care more. At the end of the day, they just care about it more. Like they're gonna follow your advice. They're gonna see it through. They're gonna listen to you in between visits. The clients where I used to charge them like barely anything, they were the biggest pain in the butt. They wanted me to work like 40 things in one visit. Then when I actually started charging like triple that, I was amazed at the quality of clients that I got because they were actually invested in the care and they wanted to see it all the way through. So what do I do when they do say it's expensive? First thing is I do is I totally agree with them. I say, yeah, I totally agree with you. But here's the thing. I had a choice to make. I could be like everyone else. I could be like the franchise places that, are just getting people in and out the door. The chiropractors that are just popping and cracking people. They're not really getting anybody better. They're just trying to, spin them out more and more and try to make as much money as possible. What I decided to be was the person that actually going to provide results. And that allows me to give full attention and full focus to your care when you come in. I'm not full of a waiting room of like 20 people waiting to get in where you'll see me for 5 minutes. You get my full attention, my full detail, which in turn creates much better value. And it's actually cheaper than going to someone that just takes your insurance or does it for cheaper because they're not actually going to fix the problem. Next is just don't sell out of your own wallet. If you think your treatments are expensive, other people are going to as well. And if you wouldn't pay top dollar for it, then what the hell are you doing? Maybe get better at what you do or do something different, because if you really don't believe in your treatments, like that comes across to the client as well, that you don't believe in it and you get like wishy-washy. You're like, well, it could be this, but hey, I'll do it for this. Like be firm in your pricing and like own that crap, own it to the best ability, because if you're really helping them, that like it is a true bargain for what you're going to do. And another thing I learned too is, and it took a lot of frustrations and mess ups over the years, treat everyone the same with your presentation, regardless of how they look or how they present themselves. I've had issues in the past where someone came in with like a really expensive car on or like a really expensive watch. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do this. And I don't really have to, show them everything. They're just going to spend the money because they have it. And they were the biggest pain in the butt. And then other people that, had like dirty clothes on, some, rust bag car, and just looked like they had nothing going on. They had no problem paying for it. So I learned that everyone gets the presentation exactly the same way. And lastly, and I think this is the most important, and this is what I truly believe in, when I go into that room and someone comes to me because they're in pain, they want to get their problem fixed, I feel that I have a moral and obligation to help them the best that I can, because I look at it as, if I don't get this right, and the way you do sales is you're persuasive and you get them to make a decision that you can actually help solve their problem. If I don't get this right, they're going to end up at an orthopedic doctor's office getting pumped full of cortisone and injections, surgeries and pain pills, and eventually they could end up dead. So I got to get this right. I have a duty and obligation to sell my butt off to make sure that I can be persuasive enough to let them know not only am I a solution for their problem, but I'm the best value possible, and they're in the best place to get that problem fixed. A little ranty on this episode, but sometimes I like to just bring a little bit of that fire. So as I close out every episode, go out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your amazing treatments so they can stay the hell away from the traditional medical model of pain pills, injections, and surgeries that only make things worse and definitely ruins people's lives. I appreciate you listening to the episode, and I will